I am pleased to say that we are in the process of putting together a team of Smart on Crime working groups made up of many of the best thinkers and practitioners in California law enforcement and victims' rights. We have recruited a broad range of men and women who are experts in the innovative approaches that can make Californians safer. And let me be clear, this is not simply a transition exercise. It is how we're going to do business for the next 4 years, reaching out on an ongoing basis to law enforcement and legal leaders up and down the state. I'm proud to say we've enlisted the help of Bill Bratton, who achieved a long-term decline in crime in Los Angeles by scientifically putting cops on the dots, and Connie Rice, one of the nation's leading experts in reducing gang violence among the many, many excellent volunteers. We are going to use these working groups to zero in on long-standing issues in key areas, from gang crime to reducing truancy, to protecting our environment, to combating mortgage fraud and identity theft. We'll look at 2 questions. What approaches are working in the field? And how can the Attorney General's office do a better job supporting that work statewide, particularly in our smaller counties and underserved areas? And believe me, we are going to look at strategies that combine both the elements of enforcement and prevention. Because as Attorney General, I will tell you, I believe deeply that our core mission and obligation to the public involves fighting crimes both before and after they are committed. And I want to be absolutely clear about what Smart on Crime means and where it starts. Being smart on crime starts with being tough on violent crime. As a 20-year courtroom prosecutor, I've tried just about every crime you can imagine. I have prosecuted sadistic criminals who have committed the most heinous, unspeakable acts against other people. I have spent hours poring over autopsy photographs, always someone's daughter, someone's son, someone's child. I've prosecuted manipulative predators who commit sexual assaults on children. I have prosecuted conduct so destructive that my first and only instinct is to remove the perpetrator from free society forever. And I've spent countless hours with victims. So let it be clear to anyone who would menace this state with violence, to the gangs that plague our streets, to the criminals who traffic women and children, to those who prey on the weak and the vulnerable, justice will be swift and certain in the state of California. As Attorney General, I'm going to lead a renewed collaborative effort against gangs and organized crime. Put simply, organized criminal gangs represent the #1 safety challenge facing California. And collaborating with our federal and local law enforcement partners to fight the gang problem will be a major focus of our work. The evidence is all around us. We are home to the nation's gang capital. Los Angeles alone has 400 separate gangs and an estimated 39,000 members. In recent years, our prisons have increasingly come under gang domination. And with a literal drug war raging in Mexico, we are witnessing an insidious growth of the influence of transnational gangs. These gangs are as ruthless as they are toxic, committing a broad array of crimes, from drug dealing to gun violence to premeditated murder. They wreak violence and chaos wherever they operate, and they wield their power through brutal intimidation, threatening whole communities that suffer both as witness and victim to their crimes. Transnational gangs have gained an unacceptable toehold in California, and I am looking forward to a working collaboration with the United States Department of Justice and the Attorneys General of New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas to build a more comprehensive and effective regional strategy. We have asked Los Angeles Police Chief Charlie Beck, San Bernardino District Attorney Mike Ramos, and Imperial County District Attorney Gilbert Otero to help us lead a 90-day review of strategies on how we can assist local law enforcement agencies with their anti-gang initiatives and how we can better collaborate to increase our effectiveness. One thing is clear. A more visible and strategic police presence is a direct deterrent to crime, including gang crime. And I promise you that as your Attorney General, you will have a forceful advocate for public safety funding at the federal, state, and local levels, particularly when it comes to putting more cops on the street. And at every step of the way, we are going forward with an understanding that the job of the Attorney General is to help police and sheriff's departments do their jobs, to collaborate, to support, and above all, to serve the brave men and women in uniform who put their lives on the line every day for all of us who live in these communities. But Californians, we also know, crime is not monolithic. Ask any officer. They say that in dealing with the overwhelming majority of nonviolent offenders, we have to buck up and confront the evidence. In California, we have some of the severest sentencing laws in this nation, and we also have the worst record on recidivism. For many offenders, we know prison amounts to attending crime college. It's a vicious cycle where new inmates face extraordinary pressure to affiliate with gangs on the inside, which boils over into our communities on the outside. What the numbers say loud and clear is most nonviolent offenders are learning the wrong lesson. And in many cases, they are becoming better and more hardened criminals during their prison stay. Now, to be clear, there should be and will be strict consequences for every crime, including nonviolent offenses. But to borrow a phrase from a fellow prosecutor, perpetuating a system that recycles a majority of parolees isn't tough on crime. It's tough on the taxpayers. Californians, we must demand more. We must demand that our correctional system do less collecting and more correcting of prisoners. Now, there's good news. The data shows there are clear strategies that are empirically breaking the cycle. Re-entry initiatives, like our Back on Track program in San Francisco, have become national models, demonstrating dramatic results in reducing recidivism and related crime. As a starting point, in the Department of Justice, we are going to help lead a new focus on recidivism in our female inmate population. These inmates are generally more expensive to house and easier to reach, as more than 60% of them are doing time for nonviolent property and drug offenses, and 2/3 of the women in our prisons are mothers of minor children who are motivated to find a way out. Ultimately, we have to stop playing small ball and adopt a more intelligent game plan. And that means also recognizing the connection between public safety and public education. And in particular, the long-term linkage between high school dropout rate and the crime rate. We know chronic truancy leads to dropping out, which dramatically increases the odds that a young person will either become a perpetrator or a victim of crime. Folks, it's time to get serious about the problem of chronic truancy in California.